This segment is sponsored by Strategic Wealth Designers. Most people plan for retirement the wrong way, but it's not their fault. So here to break down the basics of retirement planning the way it should have been explained all along is Thomas Riley, a senior financial advisor at Strategic Wealth Designers. Thanks for joining us today, Thomas. Great to see you.
Great seeing you. Thank you for having me.
Of course. Thomas, there's a school of thought that says retirement income should be built in different ways than just relying on the markets. Can you explain what those different ways are?
Yeah, so really think about retirement income in kind of like buckets over time, to where number one thing that stops when we go into retirement is that we lose that paycheck there. So you got to generate income elsewhere. But it's a good idea to kind of think about buckets in retirement. So you have things like Social Security, you can have, say, pensions, you can have dividend income, interest from the portfolio. And so instead of just relying totally on a portfolio alone, having different buckets of money and even different investments can help generate income more reliably over time there.
Yeah, that makes sense. And I know even a well-built income strategy can get blown apart by one expense, and that's long-term care. How does long-term care risk threaten an otherwise solid retirement plan?
Yeah, so I've been doing this for almost a decade now, and long-term care is a very tricky thing to deal with in retirement. Biggest thing is that you don't know if you're going to need it there. So lots of times, if you do have a long-term care event pop up, it can definitely drain the expenses or the portfolio much quicker than someone originally thought. And one of the things I found most helpful for clients and people over the years is that you can actually kind of pressure test your plan, meaning that, if you want to see what happens if a long-term care expense happens in the future, you can build that into an income plan and then see if it makes sense to pursue some coverage, or if you'd be okay self-insuring as well. So those are one way to kind of think about, what that long-term care impact would actually mean to you specifically.
Yeah, so important to kind of keep that in mind and maybe have a plan, as you mentioned.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, most people think about where they choose to live in retirement. They feel like it's a lifestyle decision, right? Beach or mountains. I'm a mountain girl. But why is housing more of a financial income planning decision, more so than just a lifestyle one?
Yeah, so a big thing on the housing side is it's one of the biggest expenses people have in retirement there. So depending on where you can live, it can determine a lot of your expenses. Other things get popped up, over time with property taxes, home repairs there. So choosing where you live in retirement is actually a big financial decision too. And you'll see a lot of people actually downsize their home there, or potentially relocate in retirement. And then some people want to stay where they're at. So just kind of think about that big house, or not big house, but kind of big expense tied to the house is the main thing that you want to keep in mind with it.
Yeah. Are you beach or mountain?
I would say I'm more of a lake person. So
Ah,
yeah,
that's another option.
all in the middle there.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Well, for anyone watching at home, they're nodding along maybe, but they haven't thought about these things. They haven't thought them through. They might feel a little overwhelmed. Where does someone start? And is there a place locally here in the DMV where people can go and learn more about all of this?
Yeah, retirement can be very overwhelming and even just diving into it. But that's why we created the Retirement Planning University. We teach it locally here in the DMV area. So if you want to come to a class there, I'm more than happy to sign up, and it should be able to put you in the right spot in retirement and give you a lot more confidence with some of the decisions people have to make.
All right. I need to go so I can get that mountain house. Thanks so much,
That's
Thomas.
right.
Yeah. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
For more in-depth retirement education, visit retirementplanninguniversity.com. That's where you can sign up for classes happening in the DMV every month.